Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breaking Bricks. I'm your host, this guy right here. You know, we have worked on my Clone Wars mock for quite a few weeks. You know, I want to take a break from that just to separate myself, but I still want to talk about an iconic location in Star Wars. And what better way to start that off than with this beautiful machine monster right here. Beautiful ball of death, the Death Star. That's what we're going to talk about today. Lego did give us that set, not once, not twice, but 3 times. You know, it was a great set. I actually have the playset version, the second version of that. They did take the original version off the market, brought it back with some updates, and then they had the UCS set of the Death Star 2, which was a really great build. But today, we're going to focus on the Death Star. All right, and this is Lego set 75159. You know, it's a great set, and let's take a look at it. You know, it's a beautiful set. It's got 4,016 pieces in it. You know, this was the first set that I ever had that was missing a piece that was very iconic. In the whole set, it was missing one piece. It was the actual gem piece that goes into Vader's lightsaber. I couldn't believe it was missing, but you know, I had some extra, so it wasn't a big deal. I didn't make a big deal about it. But you know, if you do come across something that's a critical piece in a set and it's missing out of your box or the set that you bought, you know, get a hold of Lego. They're very good about getting a hold of you and apologizing for the inconvenience and sending that piece back out to you. I bought a train set a few years back and it was missing the whole bottom carriage of one of the trains, and you can't build the carriage without it. So, you know, I went ahead and got a hold of them, and they were pretty quick about getting me the piece back, and I was pretty happy about that. Another time, you know, I bought a set and it was missing a whole bag. You know, that episode, it's the Mandalorian, the new ship that he had. It came out a couple years ago. But we're going to talk about this set right here, the Death Star. You know, I love this thing. It's got a lot of minifigures in it. Now, I've already got it put together. So we're just going to get it right up here. It did come with this mini TIE fighter. You know, I'm not a big fan of the minifig stuff, but the fig does go inside and it does hide. So that kind of makes me happy. So let's get this Death Star and all these minifigures in place. Wow, you know, that is a huge set. I love this set. My wife got me this, and I was having a very hard time in my life. You know, my family was kind of passing on, so I was kind of dealing with it, and she got me this to try to help me get through that, and I thank her for it. You know, it's a great set. Most of the time, most of my play sets end up becoming part of the bigger builds that I build, but this one has sat in the corner because it's the Death Star. Who wants to rip that apart? But anyway, let's go ahead and take an up-close look at some of these minifigs. All right off the rip, you can take a look at these Stormtroopers. You notice they don't have the Family Guy helmet. So, you know, I do love that version of the Stormtrooper. It's well done. He's got leg prints. Could have some arm prints. That would be cool if they did. And we're going to move into the troops. You know, it comes with a basic set. It comes with this really good Moff Tarkin. And some Luke Skywalker with his updated hairdo. Still kind of reminds me of the old hairdo, but the Palpatine looks great. Vader's looking pretty well done there. You know, your Imperial Guards there, or your Royal Guards. And of course, the crew, and then your Han Solo and Stormtrooper, and Luke Skywalker and Stormtrooper. And they really do give you a lot with this set. It originally sold for about $500. Now it goes for about $950. And that's new if you can find it new in a box. Somebody has it someplace, and it might go for more. You might be able to get it for less. And I can't remember exactly. Yeah, I think it was about $650 used that you can find it for. But you know, it comes with a great bunch of minifigures, but you really only have 2 Stormtroopers it came with. So, you know, the Luke and Han Solo, I tend to pop their wigs off and just use them as normal Stormtroopers in most of my stuff. But of course, you know, you get a couple battle packs in there, a couple May 4th minifigures that really add to this, you know, another Grand Moff, and you know, Sergeant Stormtrooper. I think that was the other May 4th one that I got. And let's get those figures into this build and check it out. All right, so we're just going to start at the top here. This is kind of like a droid repair bay. I thought this was cool, so I threw some extra droid parts in there. You know, we got a KSO droid there. You know, they were around at this point. I don't know if they were in the Death Star or not. You know, during the movie, you didn't know if they were there or not because they hadn't been thought of yet. And of course, fire, the command room. And let's keep spinning. All right, so, you know, this is the officer's room. All right, this is where the Vader choked the crap out of one guy. But you got your, another Grand Marf there. The anti-aircraft guns. And then back to the droid room here. So we're going to go ahead and move down below. So this room here depicts Return of the Jedi. You know, this place set overall kind of encompasses so many different scenes from 2 different movies. And to be honest with you, you really only saw the throne room in Return of the Jedi. And of course the prison deck. Alright. Here's part of the gunner for the dish gun. And I got C-3PO and R2 going through that door. Because that right there is the command deck that overlooks the flight deck. That's where the Millennium Falcon docks in at. They were waiting there. You know, you could probably set Obi-Wan and Vader up in here and have them duel it out if you really wanted to. You know, it depends on how you want to set this up. Like I said, this just kind of sits on a shelf for me. And we're going to go ahead and move down a little bit. Now this is the sub flooring for the flight deck where troops can be elevated into place. And we got another gun. A couple gunners there. Here's a trash compactor. You know, overall it does move around. It does have elevators and hatches and things. You know, this was a really fun set. Obi-Wan shutting the tractor beam off. And of course the rope swing. And then you got this little tiny deck here on the bottom, which is a little pain in the ass because you can't get your hand in there very well to set up. But overall, this is a very fun set. I really enjoy it. Well, my friends, this set sat on the shelf from 2016 to 2020. 4 years you had an opportunity to get this before it retired. That's why it's so much more when you buy it new, sealed in a box versus used. You know, overall, you know, if you can get your hands on one, add a couple pieces to it to make it complete, that always works. But, you know, you really want those minifigures because that's where your value is. At least in my opinion, that's how it works for me. I am glad I had this set. I'm glad it was a gift. I really can't complain really much about this set other than the fact that it doesn't have the siding, so you can't ball it up. It's open. I think one day I'm going to go ahead and slap some sides on it one day just to see how well that looks, because they can build a globe, they can put sides on this. Really, come on. Really. And rumor does have it that they might be coming out with a new Death Star, possibly maybe next year. I hope so. That would be kind of cool to see what they come up with. But anyway, if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit that like button. It lets me know I'm doing a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest this kind of content to other people that might be into this kind of thing. And of course, you know, if you got a good idea for maybe a future location in the future, go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you a mere half a second, but for me, it means an awful lot. Otherwise, I'll see you here next time on Breaking Bricks.